Manchester, Manchester, oi, oi, oi! Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. In looking over the analytics, a number of my viewers are in Manchester, England. And we have it's not a very popular dish, but it is a dish that we have in the South called a Manchester egg. It's kind of like a Scotch egg. It's a little bit different. I'll show you that difference. I love it. It goes great with beer. So I thought, okay, I like it. I think it's interesting the dynamics of England and how Manchester kind of gets a bum rap, which it's amazing. It's almost like how in America, New Yorkers look down at their nose at everybody that's not from New York. But Manchester has given so much to the world. You think about the first programmable computer, Manchester. 25 Nobel Prize winners came from Manchester. You want to talk about the Industrial Revolution? Well, that was ground zero, Manchester. The nation's first working canal, Manchester. Virtually any time that you want to talk about a first or very laudable achievements, Manchester has been at the forefront. And it's got some great people, hardworking, innovative people. And I just wanted to honor my viewers the best way I know how, which is cooking. That's something in Southern culture. If you want to try to show respect, one of the ways is to cook decent people food or do food in somebody's honor. And so I just want to make a Manchester egg today for these people. They're watching my videos over in Manchester, England. We do appreciate you. And so hi from across the pond. And let's get on with the video. Before we get started with doing this, I thought I'd show you a neat little way to peel eggs. So I've got this in a jar and I've got the end of it sealed. The reason why I got sealed just so I can hold on to it and it don't come flying out. All you do, you just roll this around both hands. I'm doing it one-handed because of videoing, trying not to make you sick. But we'll do this for about a minute or two and it will actually cause the egg to be totally peeled. All you gotta do is, when you're done with it, is put it in some water. I also want to mention about this process that when you do more than one in a jar, they'll almost peel themselves totally, so you don't even have to do much. And I'm doing this one-handed with the camera. There you go. I mean, this is better than any other trick I've ever seen for eggs. This is awesome. For this recipe, I'm going to do 8 eggs. I got them in a food-safe container. I'm going to add in just a sprinkling of salt, probably about a teaspoon of non-iodized salt. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of cayenne pepper taste. I like cayenne pepper and I don't want the pepper flakes, so I'm using just the powder. That's probably about a teaspoon. Okay, so this right here is a quart of white vinegar. I'm going to add in about half a bottle, so 16 ounces or 2 cups. That's about that. Now I'm going to add in about a cup of cold water. To this, we'll just kind of stir it up a little bit. Make sure it's all incorporated. That's all we're trying to do, is incorporate this, and then we'll lid it. I've got the lid that came with it, and we'll just let this sit for about 2 weeks. Alrighty, so we got our pickled eggs done. I've got about a half cup, maybe a little bit less, of self-rising flour. And I'm going to fish these out, kind of drain them a little bit, and toss them into this zip top bag with flour. As you can see, I've got 8 eggs in here, and they're coated in flour. You need self-rising flour because it's going to help neutralize the vinegar on the outside. And anytime you add vinegar to meat, it will make it mealy, especially sausage, and I don't want the sausage to be mealy. So this is a critically important step to act as a barrier. We got maybe a half cup of milk in this bowl. I'm going to crack an egg and put in there and whip it up, make an egg wash. As with all my egg washes, first thing you always do is break up the egg yolk and then just whisk. Alright, this right here is nothing more than a pound package of breakfast sausage. You can use any breakfast sausage you like. They didn't have fresh pork sausage at the grocery store. That's why I like to use. So I used the prepackaged, but any sausage will work in this recipe. So I forgot to mention we need to divide this up. We got 8 eggs. I need 2-ounce portions of sausage for each egg. Okay, so now what I've done is I portioned it out and flattened them into little rounds. Okay, they kind of go in like this. Now we're going to form the sausage around the egg, and that is where you just kind of pinch it around and, you know, shape it. So we'll go from there. There they are done. There's no easy way of doing this. Ideally, if you can find them, some pickled quail eggs would be the best. The market doesn't even carry small eggs anymore, but small eggs would work. But if you had pickled quail's eggs, that'd be the ticket, and then you could do 16 of these. But there's no easy way of getting this sausage around the egg. Now we're going to flour the sausage covered eggs. Alright, so here's our floured eggs so far, our Manchester eggs. Now we go to the next step. Alright, we're going to do 4 ounces of panko breadcrumbs. I decided to be a little bit fancy, splurge a little bit on the panko, and I'm going to put that with the remaining flour. You can see there's not much flour left, maybe a tablespoon or 2. Now we're adding in the panko. To that we're going to add pepper to taste, and of course I use peppercorn medley grinder, which is black peppercorns, coriander, pink peppercorns, white peppercorns, allspice, and green peppercorn. And then a decent amount of sea salt, and you want this to be a little bit saltier than you normally would season your food, because this is going to be critical to flavor enhancement after the fry. The season's in, you just shake it up. Now we'll coat our Manchester egg in an egg batter so that it can get that breading. Now we just roll that around. Okay, so these have already been battered or coated one time in breadcrumbs. What I'm going to do is roll them in egg wash again and coat them a second time. I just find that does better with the panko if you do that. Okay, so now these have been double breaded. Time to fry them up. So if you can take and put a little bit of your breading in there and it starts to fry immediately, you're good. This isn't quite there, but we'll get there in just a moment. It's lifting up, but it ain't quite there. Okay, now we got grease hot enough. We'll lower these in very easily into the hot oil. Here we go. Once it starts to brown, that's when you flip it. So we'll flip it. They're browning up beautifully right now. Okay, these are ready to take up. This is how a Manchester egg looks cooked. This is a look at the inside. Alright, so it's time to check and see how the Manchester egg tastes. And of course, this right here is my beverage of choice. So this is what I love to have with my Manchester egg. So let's give it a shot. These are a little bit big. Again, if we had small eggs or quail eggs, you pop the whole thing in. Man. That vinegar with the sausage, with the creamy egg, with that crunch, just perfect. And with that, I'm gonna get me a beer. Cheers, mate. Yeah, beer and Manchester eggs, awesome combination. If you like this video, put my beer down for a minute. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you ever had a Manchester egg, or maybe you know of them as a different name, let me know. I'd love to hear that. And if you're watching now and you haven't subscribed, why haven't you? Go ahead, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be alerted to future content, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.